Glory be to Jesus. We thank God once again for His grace given to us for everyday living. Now, I started the previous session by talking about Isaiah chapter 61 verse 11 that says, "For as the earth brings forth its bud, so the Lord will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations." And the agenda is that the point is that there is a human part of the whole equation where we sow, but God will bring the testimony. And as we do it naturally, God will cause divine intervention to bring the testimony. Now let me give you 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46. "However, the spiritual is not first, but the natural, and afterward the spiritual." So if the spiritual is not first, but the natural. Now, in terms of pre-existence, God, who is spirit, and all that He stands for is spirit, existed before the natural. But in terms of rolling out His plan, it is the natural first. So for instance, Jesus Christ, let me say Christ, because Jesus is the flesh that gave Christ the body to live on it. So Christ existed before Adam. Christ was in the mind of God. Christ was everything. But when God started rolling out what was in His plan, He rolled out the natural first, which is Adam. And Christ came later to correct what Adam couldn't do. So even though in the mind of God Christ was first, in rolling out His plan, He brought the natural first. So Jesus coming is not an afterthought, but when He's rolling His plan, it's the natural first. So when you look at this scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46, "However, the spiritual is not first, but the natural, and afterward the spiritual." So the human aspect is the natural. So when you don't pray, the spiritual that must come later cannot come because you have not paved the way, you have not activated. It's like conditional. You need to do something for God to act, even though He has finished the work. But when it comes to bringing His purposes to come to pass, He says that when you sow, He will cause the bud to shoot. If you don't sow, there's nothing God can do. So if the natural is first, you have been given the privilege to pave the way for testimonies to fall into your life. So your aspect of sowing yourself, sowing your time, dedicating yourself, sacrificing for the purposes of God to come to pass must come first, and the spiritual is God causing the bad, the testimony to be established in your life will come later. So it is not the natural that is first when it comes to fulfilling the purposes of God. It must take a responsibility from a man who stands and decides, "I'm going to pray, I'm going to partner God." So there's a partnership. I perform, and God has no choice to bring forth. This is Pastor Edemado, and God bless you.